Welcome to the Subconscious Mind Mastery Podcast. Thomas Miller. I am so glad that you are stopping by here to listen to what I've got to say. A story. I have a really good story from a campground. I was on a camping trip recently, and for 12 years now, we've been talking on this podcast about just sharing life lessons. Well, this was a big one because of all of the stuff that we've talked about in over 400 episodes on this podcast. The biggest condensed do this and stuff will work lesson. Totally free. Don't need to buy a course. Don't need to do this or that. Just do it. Follow your intuition. And I know people say, I can't understand it. I don't know when it's the monkey mind or when. Well, I'm going to help you with that right here. Because old Uncle Thomas has a couple of battle scars that I'm going to share. This is the thing. That's why at the end of these episodes, enjoy the journey because it really, truly is a journey. We don't ever get there. I knew somebody who had done a lot of spiritual work and thought that they kind of had arrived based on everything. No. It's like every single day you wake up. It's like the lion wakes up in the savannah, and if it doesn't attack something, it doesn't eat. And a gazelle wakes up in the same savannah and realizes if it doesn't run like heck, then the lion might catch it and eat it for dinner. So the point of it is, the sun is up, and both of you had better be running. Well, that's the deal. The sun is up, and we better be minding our intuitive business. So here's what happened. Lord Jupiter, the Sprinter travel van, now has a new air conditioner. They make air conditioners now that go right to the battery and not through an AC plug like through your inverter. So the bottom line of that is I can pull into any grocery store parking lot, under a shade tree, by a creek, whatever, and turn the air conditioner on. That is about as revolutionary to somebody with an RV as running water. I mean, it is like, without it, you are, and then with it, it's like, oh, where has this been? Not the best air conditioner in the world, but I figured it out how to make it worthwhile, and who wants to be out in that thing in that hot of weather anyway if that air conditioner can't keep up with it? So there's the measure of whether to go or not go. Well, I went to a campground, and I had a great couple of 3 days. Just got off of screens and relaxed. I did not pick up a camera. I took one, but I didn't use it. I took a microphone. I didn't use it. Took a laptop, barely pulled it out. So I was in the downtime mode. Problem is, I let my intuitive game go slack as well. So the first thing was I wanted to extend another night at the campground. I'd booked 2. I wanted to go for 3. This particular place is kind of cool. I don't like it as much as if there was personal attention right there, but they have closed their office at the campground, and it's all online now. And they have a telephone number. If you have a problem, you call the number. So I got online, and you put the dates in, just like you book a motel, and set everything up, and then it shows you what spots are available in the campground. Well, I'd gotten that far, and I noticed that the one that I was in was not on the list. So I was like, oh, I'm going to have to search around for that. Well, the spot next door was open, so I thought, well, I'll just move over there. Suddenly, I looked out the window, and there's this guy on a riding lawnmower, and he's coming beeline right for the little area where I was. And he starts buzzing that. It's one of those rider things where the blade is in front of him, and he's twisting and turning that thing and zip and zap and everything. And I have a Starlink Mini now, and I had it outside with the cable running into the van, the power cable, the AC plug, and this guy's making a beeline straight for that cable. Now, there are many campground stories where weed whackers and lawnmowers have run over people's cords and cables and plugs and things. My brother had they ran over his sewer pipe with the weed whacker. I think he partially cleaned up and they replaced. But anyway, you don't want that. So this guy's going right for that cable. It's a little thin gray cable. It was in the grass, and I'm throwing the door open of the van, and I'm, wait, stop. And he says, I see it. Okay. I wanted to pull up my stuff before he came back around and got closer. I wanted to get out of there because I can just move the van out of the way for a few minutes. So I said, can you just give me 5 minutes? Give me 5 minutes. Well, he didn't understand. He had those earmuffs on, which he should. And so he went on. He went on away. So I looked and he was gone. I'm like, okay, got a few minutes. I'm going to finish this reservation. So I went back, but in this disrupted state, I thought that I had queued up the spot next door. So, I literally just stepped away from the computer, right? It's just sitting there. So I thought that I had queued up to that spot and that I was just, all I needed to do was complete the checkout. So in a hurry, with this guy hovering, thinking he might buzz back by any time to get the stuff closer to the van, I went straight to the checkout cart. And as soon as I hit the cart thing, I heard the prompt inside. It said, maybe you'd better refresh that page just to make sure that is still available. Well, I'm in a hurry, right? I got to get this done so that I can get packed up and get moved off of this pad so that this weed whacker doesn't come back and hit my cables. Well, I wasn't game on, and I went ahead and went through the checkout process because it wasn't a loud voice. It was so soft and subtle. But for those of you who say, what is the monkey mind versus what is intuition? Well, that was intuition, not monkey mind. So I checked out. Well, when the receipt came up, it was the wrong site. So I had landed somewhere in that process on another site, and was a site that I absolutely didn't want. The sun was in the wrong place for that site. It would have cooked me in the morning. So I knew that that was not right. So bottom line, I had to call the number and get it straightened out. Well, then the lady wasn't there, and I'm doing this during Mercury retrograde anyway. So it's like, what can go wrong? But the point was, as I reflected back on it, the message was so clear and so right there that it just was so beautiful that the universe was trying to help me on my vacation. I'm like, take a few days off and not have to worry about straightening out with phone calls. And when they weren't there, then I had to call back and da-da-da-da-da. All could have been avoided. Was it any kind of big deal? No, not really. But just the fact that this wonderfully benefic force, this energy that can see around the corner in front of us, and knew that I was going to book the wrong site and knew what the consequences would be, that it was all right there, just trying to help. And I was too thick. I was like, oh, but there was another. So at that same time, I wanted to get some flowers sent to my daughter. And those of you who have been following kind of loosely, because we haven't talked about it much, but the situation with my family, there's a real breakthrough happening with my daughter, and I'm so thrilled. Well, she is celebrating 8 years at her place of employment. It has been truly an amazing development. If you go all the way back to childhood for her, this is like just, it's done amazing. Worked her way up to the top by the time she was like 26. So just a great story, warms my heart tremendously as her dad. And we've had some breakthrough conversations here over the last several months. So there's one thing that we kind of had between us, and that is that she always loves getting flowers from her daddy on her birthday. So I thought, in light of this anniversary celebration, that I would send her some flowers as a surprise. Well, I went on the website to order, and I was just having trouble with the form. It wouldn't let me buy this one particular spot, and I couldn't figure out what it wanted. And I wasn't getting it. I wasn't understanding. I called the place. The campground doesn't have good internet, even though I had Starlink. Nobody could understand me on the phone. So I set it aside. Now, that was the right thing to do, right? I was pushing, trying to get these flowers ordered for my daughter so that I could go on a hike, and there was resistance. It was pushing back. So I did the right thing initially. I folded the laptop over. I thought to myself, I remember thinking this, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Well, I had several days before the anniversary was later in the week, so I went on the hike, had a great time, didn't take it back up that evening, picked it back up the next day. Same form, different browser. So I'm not going to call the place, not going to do that. Back in the campground, that wouldn't work. So I pressed on and I tried it again, and I went over every line down the screen, and there it was. There was a box that it wanted checked. I don't do forms very well anyway. Being a Gemini, it's like you're always looking past what they want you to do. I launch them out. When I do a form, I just launch it out like, okay, what have I missed? Clean it up. Well, this one went through. So it's like, okay, got the flowers ordered. Mercury retrograde. It was Mercury retrograde. I'm like, it's Mercury retrograde. No, it was not Mercury retrograde. It was the universe trying to tell me she was out of town all week. Flowers ain't cheap to send them to somebody else, but that's what happened. They ended up at her office, and somebody there got some nice flowers to enjoy for the weekend, and my daughter was out of town. We had good conversations, but we're not back to that point of, and we never really were. I mean, she's a very established adult now, and she's a traveler too, like her daddy. So, there's no checking in, but she also will never get flowers by surprise. Hey, are you in town? I'm going to send you something. Well, you know what that's going to be. So here I am in this extended day, and it kind of ended up being a rainy day, which was amazing. I loved it. It was so great. So I was just sitting there doing some journaling and reflecting, and I saw both of those incidences as what they were. I was like, the first thing that came over me was not frustration with myself for the way that I totally missed both of those messages of the universe trying to help me. My first reaction was gratitude that the universe did try to help me. It touched my heart so much that I had a little tear well up in my eye of just sheer gratitude of the beauty and the wonder that this connection is always there, is always benefic, is always lovingly looking out for us. And that was my first thought. And I said a lot of thank yous, just expressing my heart of, wow, you really were trying to help me. Then I got on myself. It was like, Thomas, you are so much better than this. Why? How? What happened? And as I look back on it, it was exactly as I described. I was checked out. I saw that my thinking was, well, I'm in a place of, let's say, low consequence. Like, the stakes are lower where I am. Something might happen, but it's not going to be huge. Oh, it could be, always. But I was just off. I had let my antenna go dormant. So I thought, when I get back, I have just one of those yellow notepads. I have it right here in my hand, right there. And I'm going to just read you some of the things that I wrote. I got a pen and I started writing like back when the teacher made you write stuff on the blackboard. I never had that happen, but they say it did in some places. They didn't do it in my schools. But I did this to lock in, and I'm going to do it every day for several days just to lock in the lesson, because you do this and you really get it. So here are some of the things I wrote. I always listen for signs. I always listen for signs. I always listen for signs. I keep my mind calm so I can hear. Oh, that was a big one right there. I had missed it because of the lawnmower episode, so I wrote that out several times. I don't push through anything. That was another lesson from obviously the flowers. I don't push through anything. If you get resistance, you need to stop, and at least, it's not to give up. It's to just ask, am I on the right path? I don't push through anything. I am grateful for divine guidance at all times. And of course, that's the one that still, even reading it, touches my heart the most. I am grateful for divine guidance at all times. The switch is always on. And then I did this several times. I listen. I hear. I follow. I listen. I hear. I follow. I listen. I hear. I follow. I wrote that out several times. That one spoke to me. It's simple. I listen. I hear. And I follow. I hear subtle guidance. I hear subtle guidance. I hear subtle guidance. And then I did this. I follow. I follow. I follow. I ask. I ask. I ask. I listen. I listen. I listen. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. I'm quiet. And what a wonderful reminder just to come back to that. I'm going to do it until it is completely locked in. Right now it's conscious and it's top of mind, but I'm going to do it until it really permeates down in there. And that's a great exercise that you could do for anything. You could do it related to anything that you want to bring into your life. Now, the other piece of this, I think, is the separation between the monkey mind and intuition, because that is the one that I know so many people struggle with. And then the other is, I just don't hear things. Well, in the first one with the reservation, I heard something. Maybe you should refresh that page. It was very obvious. The second time, it wasn't, hey, your daughter's out of town. It wasn't that kind of thing. It was more of the pushing, the setting it aside. But then if I had said, should I order these flowers? And I would have done my muscle testing and I would have gotten a no. Well, okay, then I just, maybe I would have called her or something. I know some of you connecting the dots are thinking, how did you find out that she was out of town? Well, she never called she always calls. When the flowers arrive, she calls. She didn't call. So I checked in with her by text, and she said, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not in town this week. So the takeaways are, the channel is always open, or it can be, unless you got it blocked. If you got it blocked, that's on you. If your channel is open, it's always on. It's up to us to do the hearing and the listening and the being quiet enough to follow, or just stopping and asking. In previous episodes, I've told the story about that TWA Flight 800, supposedly. It's in all the past episodes. It's in there a lot. The lady that said, no, I'm not getting on the plane. How does that voice know around the corner? How does a voice know you've got the wrong camp spot queued up and you're getting ready to buy it? And oh, by the way, in the infinite tapestry of the universe and Wallace Wattles' formless substance that permeates everything, it knows where you are and what you're trying to do and where your kids are. And when it tries to say, don't send flowers to your daughter. Isn't that amazing that we have that ability? And that's what I say. If you want to take all of these episodes and condense it into one thing, this is the message. Follow the voice. Follow the prompts. Follow the divine guidance. It will keep you on your path. So, if any of you would like some nice flowers for the weekend, I know where some might be. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you take this to heart, and I hope it permeates your own life. I hope that you burn up some yellow pads along with me on this one and sear it into your heart and your consciousness. Thanks so much for listening. I'm sending you all kinds of love as you enjoy the journey. I'm Thomas Miller. See you next time.